G'day. Apple has released a brand new F1 movie trailer. It was shown during the Super Bowl in the US and I've dissected it for you. Have you seen the brand new trailer for the F1 movie starring Brad Pitt? It runs a little over 20 seconds and it was shown during prime time on US TV during the Super Bowl. Now straight up, this is an ad for the movie, but it's also an ad for the sport. And when you think that Super Bowl ads typically go for around $8 million a spot, this is a huge investment by Apple to get this trailer out to pretty much most of the United States. Yes, it's promoting the movie, but it's also promoting the sport. Formula One is going to find new followers as a result of this ad, and even more once the movie hits. This was a master move by Formula One, and the fact that the movie is called F1 means that the branding value is just sky high. I've looked at this video for some time now, and I've dissected everything. It starts off with a race start from Silverstone. Year 2023, there's a Ramco signage here, plus the Vegas signage. That gave that away. Now, I've also looked at the start vision of the real race, and this is not the same. What the movie people are doing here is reskinning a lot of the vision. So in other words, if there is a shot of a Alpine car, they can reskin the car in post-production so that that Alpine car is actually an Apex car, Apex without an E. Now this shot here is actually taken from the helmet that the driver is wearing. And bear in mind too that Brad Pitt did a lot of driving on track in this car. He was pretty handy behind the wheel. Indeed, this is a very small camera, but the pictures are magnificent from it. Only in Bell helmets at the moment with Formula One. So having seen the start of the race in Silverstone, we then jump to Spa. This is Eau Rouge, going up the hill to Raidillon. It's an epic corner, and I'm not sure that the movie people want you to believe that this trailer is all one series of shots from one race. This is indeed a montage. Then we jump to Brad lying down in what I gather is the Apex motorhome. This is a pretty neat setup in a driver's motorhome. The reason I say that is because if you go to Abu Dhabi or Qatar, where they've got purpose-built buildings, they don't have this sort of furniture in them. And if you have a look at Brad's tattoos, I'm of the opinion that there's nothing extra added. This, to me, looks like the tattoos he has on his own body. Now, I don't suggest that they would have filmed this in a motorhome. This would be a set that they've set up to look like a driver's room in a motorhome. This shot here is taken from the balcony of the Cosmopolitan Hotel in Las Vegas. I know that because I've done a bit of research and the railing is exactly the same, but I've stayed in a corner suite at this hotel going back a couple of years ago now. Stunning views across the whole city. Then we get this shot of Damson Idris in Abu Dhabi on the track. Damson is the teammate of Brad Pitt, who was known as Sonny Hayes, and Damson's known as Joshua Pierce, number 7 and 9 for the Apex team. Then we return to the track. This shot is taken in Abu Dhabi during daylight hours. Remember, the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix is run at night. Well, it starts at dusk and goes into night. So this could well be what they're trying to tell us is the start of the race. And I imagine this will be the finale because Abu Dhabi is the final race of the year. In particular, this is coming up to turn 9. There is the F2 pit exit on the left, and then the next few scenes are shot in the right order as they head around turn 9. Now the contact here takes place in Abu Dhabi, but then we cut to the Hungaroring for turns 14 and 15. Now one thing about this trailer, and if you're not a regular F1 viewer you'd have no idea, is that the visor that they're using here is clear. Clear visors are only ever used at night. Typically during the day they will have some sort of tinting on it. If it's bright sunshine, it'll be dark tinting. If it's overcast and cloudy, it would be slightly less. But very rarely would you see a clear visor during the day. Obviously the movie people have used it because they want you to see Brad's face, and that's perfectly fine. Going back to Brad Pitt's driving ability, I can tell you that I'm friends with a friend of his, and he told me that Brad came over to his place to do some sim driving in the very early days, and he was a natural, straight out of the box. So Brad is clearly, well, he's not unlike Tom Cruise, I guess. He's doing his own stunts in the movie, and clearly has some talent for on-track action. This is the second trailer, by the way. There was one released last year, very early in the year, but we didn't see too much of Javier Bardem. This trailer, he pops up a couple more times than that. And this shot in pit lane is taken at Abu Dhabi. What you see in the background are the corporate suites above the garages. Now I've got to tell you, this scene got me because I'm not sure where this would be filmed, that there would be trees and a car on fire very close to the track. There are a few spots. Hungaroring has some. Imola, Austria, yeah, but really, you'd have to jump a wire catch fence in most of those places to get anywhere near trees. Still, when this movie is released, we'll have a far better idea of where that shot might have been taken. Now, if you have read it, you'll be happy to hear that I have my own subreddit. This will be a mostly fan-driven space, but occasionally I or a member of the team will pop by, and if you have any news, F1 insights, memes, or discussion topics, make sure to pop them in there. That material may even come up in one of my YouTube videos. Just click the link in the description or head to r/KimElmanF1. Now at this point here, this is the first time that we get to see another real team car pop up in the vision. Max Verstappen is here on the right, dicing with Sonny Hayes as they go into turn 1 at Monza. And Brad turns in front of Max. Is Brad that fast? Or perhaps is Max just about to lap Brad? And in keeping with continuity, they then cut to turn 2. And just to the left of that TV screen is a small stand where photographers take our start shot typically from. Now from Monza, we jump to the final corner at Silverstone, where Brad goes off into the gravel, and then we cut to Las Vegas, where one of the Apex cars ends up in the catch fence as they round the bend coming onto pit straight. Oh, then we have a kiss and a cuddle in the elevator before heading to Daytona International Speedway and fireworks down the back stretch. We go back to the Sphere at Las Vegas. Well, I kind of think that is Brad, actually, because you probably saw some vision that was streamed pretty much everywhere on the internet, which was taken in the Las Vegas pit straight late at night and probably even early in the morning, where Brad falls onto a mattress. I can't show you that for contractual reasons with my F1 accreditation. Just harking back to this shot here at the Sphere, this is taken from this camera. During the on-track filming sessions, Apex cameras were everywhere. Sometimes they would have 6 to 8 cameras on the car, and then of course they'd have other cars traveling around with them, shooting external shots of the cars on track. I've got to say too that F1 sponsors like MSC and Pirelli, plus all the other ones, are getting exceptional value for money out of their sponsorship, because not only do they pay to get their signage on track and everywhere else, they're now getting it in the movie. They're getting it in this trailer. They're getting it seen by millions watching that Super Bowl coverage. If I was one of those sponsors, I think I'd be chuffed about the extra exposure. Now, interestingly, there's only one sentence of dialogue in this piece. And I've listened to this numerous times, and I can't tell if it's David Croft or not. If it's not David Croft, it's no one else as far as I know from F1 commentary. So having seen this trailer pop up on my social media feed so many times today, and then I thought, right, let's do a video on it, I've scoured the internet and found that there are already so many different articles talking about this ploy of putting a movie trailer in the Super Bowl, and pretty much everyone's wrapped with it. Here's one line in one of the reviews: F1's shaping up to be a must-watch for racing fans and action lovers alike. It's another sign that Apple TV Plus is serious about building up an impressive film library. Now, this won't go straight to Apple TV Plus. Warner Brothers has picked up the theatrical, home entertainment, and digital purchase distribution rights. So that means that yes, Apple TV Plus will get it, and if you have that service, you'll be able to see it at home, but certainly it's going to be in theatres and other releases for a good number of months, I would suggest. Oh, and if you want a real special experience, you'll probably want to go and see it at an IMAX theatre. That will be, I imagine, totally immersive. Now, the release date is late June, and around the time of the Austrian Grand Prix, I had a chat with producer Jerry Bruckheimer and said, look, where's the premiere going to be? He said, there are going to be numerous premieres, and I just hope that there's one not too far from where we are, so that those of us in Formula One who have been very much a part of this, certainly working alongside them at the track over this last 2 years, can go along and view it. In fact, I've already applied to Warner Brothers to do an interview with Brad, because I think you, my audience, would love to hear what he has to say about this movie. And I know some of you aren't happy with the whole thing, but I think it's going to do wonders for the growth of this sport. On the subject of Brad Pitt, yes, he's a 60-year-old man purporting to be a 40-something F1 driver. And if you have a look at this shot on the promos, which came out last year, and my shot taken in Parc Ferme, yes, they've obviously done some work on Brad's eyes, and they're going to do that. This is what this is about. This is all fiction. I will be very keen to see how the other F1 drivers actually work their way into this script. Will any of them have a speaking part? And how will they deal with the likes of Daniel Ricciardo, who was gone and then came back, other drivers who were there for a while and left? Will there be any reference to them? And still on the subject of Brad, he also did a rather rousing video which was filmed in Los Angeles' Bradbury building, paying tribute to American unity and its connection to the NFL. And that was aired just prior to the Super Bowl. If I was the PR manager for this movie, I'd be pretty happy This has really gone off today. Plenty of people talking about it, lots in the media. You're watching this video and I thank you for that. And if indeed you are a subscriber, any one of these people here, or the other 400,000 on my page, thanks very much for getting behind me. I think we can get a pretty good understanding of the plot, and these two trailers that we've seen so far indicate that there is friction in the team. We knew that anyway up front. Brad obviously conquers all, and I think the two end up pretty good mates at the end. There'll be another promo at least to come prior to the release of this movie, and of course once the official trailer hits, and that's likely to be 90 or 120 seconds long, we'll be very much in the know of what we can expect when we go and sit in a theatre and watch F1 on a big screen. Really, when you look at how much money they've spent on this movie, and it's $300 million US, you'd want to get a pretty darn good movie out of that, wouldn't you? It should be winning every single award known to man. But certainly Formula One, no matter how this movie does, is on a winning streak here. Drive to Survive, F1 movie. I just can't believe how lucky I am to be involved in a sport that's just going up and up and up like it is now. And before I leave you, did you realise that Lewis Hamilton has an interest in this movie? He has certainly come on board as part of the crew to give it a certain authenticity, make sure that what they're portraying on screen is real, because of course Hollywood movies can end up being a little bit fanciful, and I think that probably won't be the case here. And look, what I've seen on screen looks pretty darn good. CGI has come a long way, and the fact that we're looking at this and studying it, trying to work out what's going on, suggests that they've done enough to pull the wool over perhaps my eyes, and I deal with this thing every couple of weeks. I'm at a track, and you to perhaps a lesser extent if you just watch it on telly. I think you'll be pretty darn impressed. Now some of you are going to say, oh, you're just a fanboy for the project, Kim. Well, I've got a real interest in it because I've been up close, I've stood next to them sometimes while they're filming. I think I'll be in a couple of shots, and I think my best chance is when Brad and Damson walk back off the grid for the start of the Silverstone race. They filmed that in 2023. And just by pure fluke, I happened to be walking back because we weren't told. And the reason we weren't told was that they didn't want a whole gaggle of photographers hanging around, being in the shot and mucking it up. But as this stands, if I happen to be in the shot here, I look like I'm just taking a photo of normal drivers, which is exactly what I was doing. Fictional drivers anyway. I don't think I'm going out on a limb here either to say that pretty much everyone that works in Formula One will go and see this movie. They'll all stump up their $20 to go and sit for an hour and a half and watch this movie to see how they've treated the subject. Maybe we'll get a premiere at a track. That screening would be a nice thank you to all of the people in F1. Not that they haven't thanked us before. If you go back to Belgium, they stumped up for a stroopwafel van in the paddock for all the F1 people. And before I go any further, I'm very keen to hear your thoughts on the trailer. Has it done any more for you to get you excited about it than the first one? Or has it made you think less of the project? Before you go back and replay the trailer in full, which you'll find a link in the description below, please hit the like button. And for those of you who have already subscribed, thumbs up to you. Still plenty of room for more subscribers by hitting that button. And for a whole lot of extra content, become a member. Thanks for watching, and stay passionate. Standing on the track. Is that mine? Where is it?